in the Poker News podcast for those of you who are paying attention live. And if you are, if you want to just like periodically let me know what's happening, my idea is that hopefully I can figure out, what I'm doing. Live streaming, it's just constantly changing. My setup is constantly changing, and I need your help. So probably if you're on Facebook, you can't hear us. And if that's true, I really need to figure out how to make that work. And I will continue to do so, which will hopefully not be an issue because we have Jeff and Chad who basically cover all the important things and have all the important information that you guys want. Anyways, so first things first, Jeff Platt.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is basically an ambassador at this point for GG.
Still working on that, yeah.
You finally got to play on GG this weekend with the fam in Cabo. Give me the juicy deets.
Yes, fortunate enough to spend a couple days in the gorgeous Cabo San Lucas, Mexico with the family. And I told the fam, I'm like, okay, I'll stay Thursday through Monday, but give me one day, give me one online poker session so I can fire off on GG for the very first time.
Sorry, you guys. I forgot to push record on Zoom just in case we need a backup audio. Okay,
no problem.
We're gonna do that. Then we're starting
from
again.
the top.
Sorry, you guys.
Are we live on Facebook?
Yes. And sorry for everyone who's listening. And yeah. Okay, here we go. We're gonna try this one more time, you guys. Sorry. It's St. Patrick's Day, and Mama's not even having a cocktail.
So, like, you're 100% sure we're live on Facebook right now?
We should be. It says we.
I see the post that says we are live. Come join the conversation, but I don't see any like video or anything.
What the fuck? Okay.
It might be.
Okay. According to Restream.io, we are live on Facebook.
Okay. I mean, if we are, it's great. This is a great conversation, but I keep refreshing the Poker News page and I don't see any live video. I just see one post that says we're live. Come join the conversation, and that's it.
Cool, we're live, except for you guys are not a part of it, and neither are we, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, let's just keep going and see what happens, and I'll just keep, like, digging,
Cool.
We'll
do it live.
All right. Here we go, everyone. Let's try this one more time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a live edition of the Poker News podcast. We are really trying to get this streaming live going. I, for one, do not think that I should be in charge of this kind of a thing. This, technology is maybe not my strong suit. Audio is definitely not my strong suit, but we're doing the best we can, and Chad and Jeff are obviously just pretty faces, so hopefully they can carry the show for us for the most part. Welcome, you guys. It is a St. Patrick's Day edition of the Poker News podcast, although if you guys are listening and not live with us, you will likely hear this the day after St. Paddy's, so this may just be like a hangover type podcast for you, up to you. Jeff, who basically owns GG Poker.
Mm-hmm.
You told us that you were going to spend this weekend playing on GG, making all the big scores, capturing all of the titles while you were in Cabo San Lucas. Is that what went down?
Yeah, fortunate enough to join the fam in Cabo for a couple days, and I said, Sunday, I got to be alone on Sunday. Just let me fire a Sunday slate on GG Poker for the very first time. It was a magical experience. It was everything that I ever dreamed of. The site was so cool. As far as results go, Sarah, I don't think results don't matter. I'll just remember the experience of playing on GG, my debut appearance on GG Poker. It was phenomenal. Maybe I lost a little bit of money. Maybe I didn't play well at all. But when do I ever play well? So it just worked. It just fit. It was just cool to play on GG.
Overrated. Chad, do you ever get to play? You didn't even get to participate in the Michigan Coup, right?
No, but I actually have played on GG in the past. It was prior to the pandemic. I was over in London for some business meetings, and we had like this little office game, and one of the guys was playing GG Poker on his phone. And I guess I'm about to admit that I don't know, it's not multi-accounting, but I play, I'm like, let me see what this is about. So he handed me his phone. He was playing 1 cent, 2 cent, no limit. And I fiddled around. I think I won him like 25 cents. And, but I got to experience, the software and the gameplay, and it was pretty nice. It was smooth. I look forward to the day where I have easier access in my own account to play on GG Poker.
Coming soon to the United States of America, and by soon, hopefully within the next couple of years, into a couple of states.
So, Chad, as someone who just admitted this on live podcast,
gonna have to report, Chad.
We have to talk to Jeff because we know Jeff represents the brand, and
Yep.
I'm not really sure if this looks good for us or Gigi. Is that going to be okay, Jeff? Are we still going to be able to have Gigi
We're
sponsor
just
us?
going to pretend that we didn't hear that maybe Chad's audio went out for a little bit, and I wasn't able to hear what Chad had to say. Chad, this is your first and final warning. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, and they're serious about those things. They will pull your sponsorship like immediately. So, all right. Well,
Still not sponsored, but yes.
Yeah. Speaking of GG Poker, let's talk a little bit about last week were kind of balls deep in the middle of the Fedor Limitless Challenge. I think for a lot of people, I don't want to say it was surprising, but it was seeming like it was easy peasy for Fedor for the most part, and especially for someone who didn't appear to be studying or playing a lot of heads up high stake. I was relatively shocked. Jeff, were you watching the whole thing?
I was not watching the whole thing. I know, Sarah, you could probably give us a hand-by-hand breakdown, a recap of this face-off challenge between Fedor and Victor Malinowski, who's known as Limitless Online. It's Fedor coming out on top after 4 sessions, winning more than $90,000. It really just seemed like a smooth ride for Fedor throughout the first 3 sessions. Limitless was fantastic on session 4, but I just think he dug a bit too deep of a hole. Sarah, you said it. Fedor was the underdog going in. Many expected Limitless to take this, and within such a short sample size for a challenge, I really think it probably should have been a coin flip, and it's a coin flip that Fedor won. So 90K headed in Fedor's direction. I'm sure he really needed it.
And I did see some social media where all of the important and temporal news comes from, where basically Fedor was calling him like Foldanowski or something like that. And I mean, it's a very, very small sample size, but I think based on his personality, I would have anticipated Limitless to be hyper aggressive. Not maybe the converse. Were people surprised by his play style, or maybe just more annoyed that he was playing like other tables and acted like
I'm not sure how much focus Limitless devoted to this face-off challenge. It was pretty clear while he was playing, and it's also pretty clear when you just looked at tournaments that all of the sites had, and you saw Limitless's name in all of them. And in some spots, he would ask Fedor, "Hey, do you know this guy? I'm playing him in this hand, and he did X, Y, and Z." So you could tell that the focus was not there. I'm sure the focus would be there if they ramped up the stakes. The stakes are going to be significantly ramped up when Limitless faces MJ Gonzalez, who is Daniel Negreanu's coach. They are going to play with $3 million each in front of them coming up in the next couple months at the Poker Go Studios. So that will have Limitless's undivided attention, I'm sure.
Wow. Okay. And so are you familiar with this character?
With MJ?
Yeah.
Becoming more familiar with him, I would say. I think, his coaching of Daniel over these last couple of years is starting to bring him into the spotlight, but not just that. He wants to challenge the best of the best, like Limitless, for example, and he wants to put millions of dollars on the line. On our Poker Go show, No Gamble, No Future, that I do with Brent, he challenged Phil Ivey. Very respectful way of challenging Ivey, but he wants to play the top names in the game for an absurd amount of money. So I think he is going to enter the major spotlight as far as poker is concerned by the end of the year.
Is he rich, or is Daniel bankrolling him?
That's a good question. He has this poker coaching product, Hybrid Poker, that I think a lot of the top names have paid a decent amount of money for. So I know he's made money through that and also through actually playing poker. He had a couple final tables at the World Series of Poker in 2019. I think he's doing all right financially.
I mean, all right, financially is one thing, but taking on all of the biggest names in Heads Up No Limit is like a whole other thing that only probably people like Jeff Platt, who are so rich, could really relate to. Also, Chad, who just warms up with 1Ks.
Yeah, Chad's very,
all right, well, for those who are with us live, I'm going to try to do this little spot to GG Poker right now live, and if not, then for those who are listening, let's just hear a little shout out from our homies at GG Poker. Let's see, you guys. Let's see if I can do it. Cool. I don't know. Do you hear it? I wonder if anyone else hears it. I also have to remove the overlays. Maybe Will can tell us. Will, can you hear this commercial?
It looks like, I'm looking out on Twitter, it looks like there's something planned.
Great. I need like 4 screens. I have too many things going on.
Oh, so Periscope is
on. Right.
Will says no sound.
Yep. Expected. All right. Well, sound is really going to probably be a big issue for me in this game, but we will keep trying to figure it out. And for those who aren't listening live, thank you, Kev Math. I appreciate it. So playing videos, I have to figure out how to get the audio in. This is just, can't someone else just set this up for me? I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, moving on from GG, we do also have another sponsor we want to get to. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about the WPT Gardens. And our guest this week is Chance Corneth, who we talked to just after the event. And he was really candid in his responses. And I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you guys. Chad, you want to talk to us a little bit about the WPT Gardens?
Yeah, enough of this heads up challenge stuff. I like my MTTs. Let's get some, 6-handed final table action going. And it's back after a long delay, over a year. The WPT Gardens played out at Poker Go Studio in Las Vegas. As Chance Corneth had said leading up to it, he was the longest reigning chip leader in a major tournament in poker history, I think. Like I said, over a year, he was waiting to come play this out. Unfortunately, things did not go his way. He ended up busting in 4th place for $195,000. Also at that final table was Qing Liu, who we talked about in the last episode. He just won the WPT Venetian for $750,000. He was looking to win 2 WPT titles in 2 days because he was at this final table as well. He was a short stack, though. Ended up busting first, 6th place for $111,000. Still not a bad 2-day total for him. The title ended up coming down to Marcus Gonsalves and Tuan Phan. The former started heads up play with a 5-1 chip lead. Tuan Phan did manage to battle back, even took over the chip lead, but the pendulum swung back the other way. It was Marcus Gonsalves taking it down for $555,000. Gets his name on the WPT Champions Cup, the Mike Sexton Champions Cup. And it was exciting to get one of these final tables out of the way. There are still 2 more that need to be played out. I believe the Borgata and LAPC final tables, and they will take place also at Poker Go Studios, but not until May.
So I really appreciated, Chance. I asked him about how I think emotionally difficult it is sometimes to come into a final table, the chip leader, because just like when we talked to Joseph Ebert, in December, there's a lot of expectation, I think, right? If you win, it's like, yeah, of course you should have won because you had all the chips. And then if you lose, then it ends up feeling, like I think even a greater loss than Chance does. He does share with us that this was a much more devastating loss than he really had anticipated it being. And a big part of that was also that he had been waiting for this final table for so long, and there was so much, I think, expectation on his shoulders. So we'll go to a quick little snippet from Elite Chip Care, followed by my interview with Chance Corneth. So I'm not even going to try maybe to like figure out how to do the video thing until I have to watch 800 more videos probably. I did stop the thing for a second, Chad, so at least we'll have a break there. Okay, here we go. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this. I really don't. And for everyone who's live, I'm sorry that you just have to watch me fumble through figuring all these things out. All right. Welcome back, everybody. So good to hear from Chance Corneth. He is just a player that I really appreciate and somebody who is, I think, really well known, actually, for not having any blow-ups or not feeling, emotional or volatile. And so I really appreciated him sharing that was a pretty devastating blow. But 2 days later, he was ready to go, hit the win up, and keep playing poker. He's a dad. That's his job. That's what he's got to do. And for those who are listening, you did miss like the first 5 minutes of the conversation with Chance for similar reasons, as I was streaming live with Chance and my audio was just way too quiet in the beginning. But for those who want to know, we were basically just talking about how Chance also has a live-in nanny. And, how wonderful it is to have a child when you have a live-in nanny and someone who wakes up with the baby in the night and, you just get to have the baby when you need and want it and hand it away when you can't take it anymore. And I told him we have this running joke about Phil Galfon's night nanny on our show, and he said, oh, Phil told me he didn't have a nanny. So we're definitely getting some like deep, juicy dad gossip here at the Poker News Podcast. I feel like we need to find out from Phil Galfon what the story is, if he was just trolling Chance, which sounds pretty standard.
You have a whole team of nannies, right? Like really just a whole staff around the house?
All the time, like, you think I do laundry? You think I like cook dinners? No,
everything is taken care of.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Those poor poker players don't know anything about it. All right, well, let's talk a little bit more while we're on the world of the World Poker Tour. Let's talk WPT 500 on Party Poker, maybe.
Yeah, let's talk WPT 500 really quick because there's just another one of these massive events that Party Poker put up. Party Poker has had this partnership with the World Poker Tour for a couple of years now, and it was Dylan Rowe taking that one down, a $530 buy-in, and he wins $181,000 in a really impressive final table performance. The big news that's coming out of the World Poker Tour today, we chatted a couple of weeks ago about Allied selling the WPT over to Element, a company that we really didn't know that much about. It looks like Bally's Corporation, which is separate from Caesars that owns a hotel named Bally's. This is a different corporation. Bally's coming in hot at the last second and says, 78 million? How about 90 million for the World Poker Tour? And I was like, okay, that sounds good to us. Our deal with Element was not completed, I guess. We were taking better offers if there were better offers to be had. This is a better offer to be had. I think Element will get a chance to match this or maybe go beyond the $90 million. But as of right now, it looks like Allied is selling the World Poker Tour to Bally's Corporation, a corporation that owns, I think, in the range of 10 to 15 casinos across the world. So pretty good deal for the World Poker Tour. We're a little bit more familiar with Bally's than we were with Element. So again, it's Bally's coming in hot at the end, about 6 weeks after World Poker Tour announced that it would be sold to Element.
I gotta wonder, far be it for me to weigh in on these sort of business deals that are 90 million figures, but something why would you even announce the first deal in the first place if it wasn't?
Yeah, that's what deal? I don't get. Right.
And so I don't know, maybe. I guess maybe they're like, let's put it out there. There's this clause in the contract. Maybe we'll get a better offer. Let's put it out there what we're getting. Maybe we'll get a better one. And in this case, they did. Like I said, far be it for me to give expert advice on something like this. It's so far out of the realm of my area of expertise, but I certainly couldn't help but wonder, like, how does this even happen when a deal is supposed to be in place? You would think that the contracts would be signed, but apparently here there was some wiggle room or some sort of clause in there that has allowed this to kind of do a 180 on us.
Like, this feels a little bit at a couple of things. One, I feel used as a person in the media. Like, I feel like we were like...
How do you think Element feels?
It was a deal, and we're like, new deal, everyone, this is a news story we all should be talking about, but actually not really a deal 100%. We were just, like, trying to make you jealous or something. Like, I kind of feel like I'm in the middle of a breakup, or I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about this whole thing, but it definitely feels like we've been bamboozled. This was not a real story. Not a legit news story.
I think that's the perfect way to put it. I'm just kind of scanning the press release that came out in January when we thought the World Poker Tour was being sold by Allied to Element. It does say reached an agreement, but it says a definitive agreement. So, yeah, I don't know. It says the company's board of directors has approved the transaction. Who knows?
Okay. Well, for those who are listening to the podcast in the either audio or more traditional video format, we're going to run to a quick word from our sponsors really quick. And for those who are with us live, I'm just going to try one thing to see if I can make the audio happen in the little video portion. So just tell me if it's working. Okay, I'm stopping the Zoom. You guys, it won't be like this forever for those who are just with us right now. Just so you know, we're just going to get all the kinks worked out.
Right, because Sarah's going to quit and throw her computer up against the wall. So we'll not stay like this.
All right, let me just get rid of this overlay really quick, and let's try putting a video. I'm going to change this setting. I'm going to change this movie audio setting, see if that does something. I'm counting on you, Kev Math, and Will Schillebert. I still don't know if I'm saying Will's name right. I'm pretty sure I've been working with him for 100 years. Okay, let's try this ad that I just happen to have. Oh no, let's put Chance Corneth's interview in. That might be slightly more interesting just to see. Or we could put Doug Polk. Here's Doug. Let's see.
5-4. All right, everybody. I am joined by Doug Polk, formerly Doug Polk Poker, now Doug Polk Vids. Very excited to get you on the show, Doug. Pretty much anytime I can get a Doug on the show, I am very thrilled. And you have been making the circuit the last week.
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, so obviously the challenge wrapped
up. You can't hear it.
Last Wednesday. And, I've just been so focused on winning and studying and practicing and playing my A game that at the conclusion of it, I felt that there were a lot of things to say and a lot to talk about. I figured, what, might as well do the victory lap. Let's go on some podcasts and talk about things that happened. And I'm excited that it's over, and I think we have some cool stuff to talk about.
I'm super excited. There's many questions. I'm definitely not alone in having many, and we will get to some of the user-generated questions. But
to Zoom, here we are. Let's get that overlay back in, y'all. I am disappointed that it hasn't come in the comments or responses yet, if it worked or not. But if that worked, then I'm very excited. I still think someone else should probably be running this switchboard for me. But all right, let's come back. I'm going to record on Zoom again. Okay, so I think that we may have figured something out. I really hope so. At least we figured one thing out. I also still don't know 100% of people on Facebook can hear me or not, but this is the exact same settings when they couldn't hear me, so likely not. But there are more stories to talk about. So I mentioned, and Chance mentioned in his interview, that he was headed off to play the Wynn Spring Classic. We also, of course, talked to the head of poker operations, I believe was his title. Maybe it said executive in his name too, something very fancy. Chad talked to Ryan a couple weeks ago about the Wynn Spring Classic. Yes, Deborah says the audio is good. You want to take this one, Chad, since you and the Wynn are
Yeah, the Wynn Classic 2021 Spring Classic is actually happening right now. There's still some events left on their schedule, but one of the biggest events took place over this past weekend. It was a $3,500 buy-in, win $1 million guaranteed tournament. It blew by that guarantee, almost doubled it. 614 runners. It was a absolutely stacked field. Mo Nuara was there for Poker News doing live updates all weekend long. I was following along closely and was just very impressed with the quality of that field. And after 3 long days of play, the tournament came to an end with a heads-up deal. It was Sung Ju Hyun, who goes by Artie. He's a streamer. He won a bracelet this summer in the GG Poker WSOP events. And also Matthias Auer out of Austria. They struck a heads-up deal, $323,000 a piece, and they decided to, it was actually $1 difference in prize money. They decided to leave that $1 and the trophy up for grabs by doing a best of three flip. So just, run out some hands and the best of three wins it. And it ended up being Sungju Hyun. Artie taking it down for the official win, gets the trophy. Some others at that final table. Will the Thrill Faea was a blast from the past, one of my favorite people. He ended up finishing third for $173,000. Eric Afriat, a WPT champion 3 times over, $121,000 for finishing in 4th place. Then you had Matthew Wantman in 5th, Mihai Manoli in 6th, and then at the final table finishing 8th for almost $46,000, one Chris Mormon. So yeah, pretty stacked field. They got another $1 million guaranteed tournament coming up this weekend. That one's a $1,600 buy-in, but by all accounts, the Wynn Spring Classic, a big success. Also, there was a $10,000 high roller that got 83 runners, and that was won by Joe McKeon, 2015 World Series of Poker main event champ, who just days earlier had finished runner-up in the WPT Venetian. So Joe McKeon on fire here to start off 2021.
Wow. Well, it's back, guys. Poker is back. We've been saying it for the last couple weeks, but I do think if Vegas is any indication of what we can kind of expect, I guess it started with Florida, then it's moved to Vegas, like all good things do, and hopefully we will see Europe maybe sometime soon. I don't know, just saying.
I think you're going to see more and more, like you said. There's rumblings. The WSOP isn't going to happen this summer as planned. That's kind of face up and apparent at this point, but it does sound like there's something coming down the road, maybe in the fall area. But that's going to open the door for a lot of these other events, like the Wynn, like Venetian, to hold some great great summer live events. Do this little series of their own. I think there's going to be great value there. I'm also hearing word from one poker tour in particular who are going to be announcing some stops. An award-winning poker tour will be announcing some 2021 stops very soon.
Oh, and that's a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's just more. You see the Mid-States Poker Tour is continuing to roll. They're holding an event this weekend as well as the following weekend. Poker News will be doing live updates from both of those. So it's slowly but surely these live events are starting to come back, and I'm certainly very excited about them. Obviously, I mean, head of live reporting for Poker News US. I want to see as many of these events in the United States as I can. And then, like you said, Sarah, hopefully, fingers crossed that we start seeing some movement there, and I think we will. So
It's happening.
Well, Jeff, one of the stories I was not expecting to see in the outline for today was the highlighting of a first responder winning 175K on some slots on the Michigan Coop. Can you give me the heartwarming story so that someday I might too have a live-in nanny?
Yes. Right. Your day is coming soon, Sarah. I think that to deliver the details of this amazing, heartwarming, very well written story on Poker News, that we should turn things over to Chad to deliver the scoop on Brandon Holmes and his massive spike.
Yeah, so we mentioned it earlier in the episode. The MI Coop was taking place on PokerStars Michigan. It was the first kind of online series there. If you recall, PokerStars, FoxBet, both brands of Flutter, and Stars Casino, they all launched at the end of January 29th. And so the MI Coupe was the first major online series. And Brandon Holmes is he was celebrating his 48th birthday. He's a firefighter. He's a first responder. And in a past life, he was a former poker pro. Pre-Black Friday, he played quite a bit online. And so when the MI Coupe came up, he said, all right, obviously I'm going to play this. And while he was waiting for some tournaments to start one day, he decided to go on to the Stars Casino, play the Divine Fortune slot machine that was offered on a $10 spin, which is about double his usual bet. He said he just decided to fire $10 spin, hits the jackpot, mega jackpot win for $175,000. It was the first jackpot win in that regulated market, at least the first like highly publicized and well-known and big win. And one of the great things about what's going on in these regulated markets is you have the poker stars, the Flutter machine, if you will. So they kind of got this story out there. And so Flutter with FoxBet is closely aligned with the Fox TV channels. That's why you see, like, if you've watched football over this last season, you've probably seen that win Terry Bradshaw's money, right? By making your pick six on during the football season on Fox Bet and things like that. You're seeing these promotions. There's one with NASCAR. Anyways, my point is they have this great synergy. And one thing we're seeing is Fox TV really and Fox News picked up this particular story. And so in the article itself at the bottom, there is an embedded video I recommend. You can get to know Brandon Holmes a little bit better and how he did, had that big win and kind of how it relates to poker. Because like I said, he used some of that money to play more MI Coupe events. So yeah, just a good heartwarming story all around coming out of Michigan.
But also, like, how rich? $10 for a spin? That's crazy. Am I crazy?
That's expensive.
Chad's
that
the
adds
slots
up, for sure.
expert, obviously, but like, doesn't $10 a spin seem a little rich for even normal people's blood or rich people's blood?
High roller for slots.
Do they?
Yeah.
I mean, is Michigan is offering $10 slot spins, which means there's clearly some kind of an audience for this. Like, what's going on in Michigan that I don't know about? They all have live-in nannies for sure.
I saw Michigan made a ton of money on online gaming last month and significantly more than even they made on sports betting last month. So that's going to convince more and more of these states to not just bring in sports betting, but to bring in online gaming as well, which hopefully in these states will include poker.
Wow. Yes. Ship it to mama. Bring it in, you guys. That's where what is it they say, dollars to donuts or something? Like, where you put your money where your mouth is. Like, when you can make money, that's when the politicians are going to all get behind. If we can get more money than the evangelicals and the, like, Indian casinos, maybe we have a chance to bring online poker back.
Except in Texas, Sarah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Probably not coming for a while.
Literally no chance.
Still going to be 20 years or so.
Yeah, you can just have these card rooms, which, they're in Texas. We'll still find a workaround. We'll find a way to make it happen, but the feds will probably just come periodically. Well, there's one more really juicy story that I think we've all been kind of anticipating and excited about. I guess you will maybe actually be able to cover this story for us, Jeff, since you don't like to cover the heartwarming stories. Let's talk about Daniel and Phil pushing their heads up challenge. I'm sure this cut into your, schedule for the coming weeks. Things are opening up for you dramatically. What happened?
Yeah, we talked a lot about High Stakes Duel 2 featuring Phil Hellmuth versus Daniel Granu. Hellmuth, the reigning defending champion after knocking off Antonio Esfandiari in High Stakes Duel 1 3 straight times. They were scheduled to play March 16th. That was yesterday. There was a non-player COVID concern that pushed back the taping, the airing of High Stakes Duel 2. So now it is going to go off 2 weeks from today when we are recording this podcast, Wednesday, March 17th. So Wednesday, March 31st, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, High Stakes Duel 2, Granu versus Hellmuth. Before they actually play, we're going to have the weigh-in featuring Nick Schulman talking to Hellmuth and Granu. I'm anticipating Hellmuth and Granu to do most of the talking. Probably not many questions need to be asked by Schulman. And then the day before, I believe, a hype show for High Stakes Duel 2 featuring Ali Najad and Nick Schulman. So I'm excited about it. gets pushed back a little bit, maybe we can ramp up the anticipation even more. And 2 weeks away. It's coming soon.
Was it you, Jeff?
Wasn't me.
Who
I was
has
not
the
the
Rona?
non-player COVID concern. I do not have details at this time on who it was.
Yes, you do. I totally
No,
see it.
I really
too.
don't.
I feel like if it's a non-player but someone that they would push the entire production for, it has to be someone who's like on camera or someone who's irreplaceable. You've got that dimple. Is it Ollie Najad? Is it Nick Schulman? Who has the Rona that's not talking about it, guys?
Oh man, maybe if it is Ali, you know, I hope that Ali is doing well, but I'm happy to fill in for him if needed for high stakes duel too. I don't know.
If you want to fill in for Ollie, you just got to get those eyebrows like trimmed up real nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking. You know, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't compete with Ollie's eyebrows. You might be able to do a good job commentating about. All right, fine. Well, we're gonna get to the bottom of this someday. The poker world is a very small world. But I'm glad that they are, you know, playing it safe, if you will, and trying to keep it a secret for everyone. That's a big thing, though, to push a production like that. I don't know how many people are local or how many people are flying in, but that definitely is a big shift, and I, for one, cannot wait to see all of that coverage. I actually am pretty excited. I really like Phil Hellmuth and Daniel Granu from an entertainment standpoint, and after the highlights I saw from No Gamble, No Future, I feel like we're in for some solid fireworks. I really hope that this one doesn't disappoint. Like, come on. Can we just have one of these turn into like a real heated battle?
Yeah.
Just one.
I don't see how it could disappoint. I think that these guys will go off on each other at certain times. I mean, they're both ready. They're both really excited, and they're both willing to share their opinion and speak their minds. I don't really see how this could disappoint us.
Well, if you guys are looking to place a bet on the Daniel Granu versus Phil Hellmuth heads-up duel, StakeStars.com is the place to do it. StakeStars.com is the only site in the world listing Phil Hellmuth as the favorite. So if you're looking to bet on Daniel Granu, then StakeStars.com is the only place you want to be. Plus, wait for it, if you use the referral code MARCH, that's MARCH, when you join, you will receive a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. StakeStars.com is also running their No Markup March promotion, which allows you to select any player from any poker tournament in the world, and StakeStars.com will post that player at no markup. StakeStars.com has live chat support 24/7 if you have any questions. Come get a piece of the poker action at StakeStars.com. So if you're not sure about, what the rules are of any certain matches, you can just jump in their chat. Hopefully they can answer for you. But I think this is kind of bananas, right? Like having... Maybe I need to go bet. Can I bet from Texas? I can't. You can't do that in Texas. What am I thinking? But I feel like having Phil as the favorite seems kind of like a bad deal for them, right?
Yeah, I mean, you would think, will pounce on Granu at that line when Daniel is anywhere from like -160 to -200 at different sites around the world. So there's your value right there. You want to fire Daniel, check out Stake Stars.
Wow. Okay, cool. So also Deborah was wanting to know if there's going to be the possibility to watch Daniel and Phil live, or it's all just going to be pre-taped and then shown after, or what's the story on the...
Yeah, but it will be, you'll see every single hand. It'll be a live broadcast at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And you won't know who wins before checking out that broadcast for sure.
That's on Poker Go, right?
That would be on Poker Go.
And you can save $10 off your annual subscription by putting in the code word Poker News.
There you go.
Just throwing that out there. Hey, before we go, I want to ask you guys this. It's St. Patrick's Day right now. Mm-hmm. I know when people are listening to this, it'll probably be past, but I have, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, I have pulled up the Ireland all-time money list. And I just wanted to quiz you guys a little bit about this all-time money list and see if you had a guess as to who sits atop Ireland's all-time money list.
Padraig somebody?
You're thinking of Padraig Parkinson.
Yes.
He currently sits 6th on the list with over $1.8 million.
How about Dara?
You're thinking of Dara O'Kearney.
Yeah.
Is he Irish?
I believe so. I mean, it
Okay.
certainly sounds like it, but he is not. He is not on even close to the top
How about
of the money list.
Egan O'Day?
That's a good one. He's number 3 with
Oh,
3.2 million. Coming in second with 3.8 million is Marty Smith, and then on top with
Steve O'Dwyer.
all right. If we could believe his claim to the Ireland flag, he certainly would be on top. But as it is on the Hendon Mob, $4.8 million. You might remember him for finishing 5th place in the 2005 World Series of Poker main event.
Jeff was like 4 years old when that happened, okay?
It was one Mr. Andy Black.
Oh, Andy Black.
Old school.
Andy
blast from
Black
the
is
past.
Irish?
He certainly is, yes.
What? I
That's
feel
a
like
good
I
question.
interviewed him at the World Series
Are
of
you
Poker Europe. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
Maybe,
Andy
yeah, I
Block.
mean, yeah, it could be Andy Block, but this is Andy Black.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe
I must
he's
be
up
thinking.
there.
I'm thinking of the poker monk guy. He's definitely not.
Yeah, that's
Irish.
Andy Black. That's Andy Black.
He's
Yeah.
Irish?
Yeah.
Does he just not have a strong accent?
I mean,
It's pretty strong, I would
it's pretty
say.
strong.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm out of it then. And also, wasn't Yogan O'Day's dad a big poker
Yeah.
player with lots of earnings?
Yeah, so
Donica.
Donica O'Day, he's
Donica.
10th on the list with 1.3 million, and then like we said, Aowen O'Day is third with 3.2 million. So got that father-son combo in the top 10.
That's what you hope for. You hope that your kids just dominate you in everything that you do. You can just leave behind that legacy. Man, all right. Well, what are you guys doing for St. Paddy's Day? What are people who are without child doing for St. Patrick's Day so I can live vicariously through you?
Nothing too exciting over here. I mean, it is a Wednesday, so I think I'll probably just take it easy. Maybe find a place where I can get a good Reuben or some corned beef, right? And then watch. This is the final night for season 8 of High Stakes Poker. This is episode 14. It's going to be the last episode. We're doing recaps on Poker News, so I'll probably sit down, watch that, enjoy that, and then do the recap for Poker News.
I got to go to the dentist. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Wow. Way to
Eat
go,
the dentist.
Vegas. Jeff's really holding it down there in Sin City.
Yeah,
for
really,
us.
really
Maybe.
going ham.
Hopefully, he'll be at least like, well, I'm using the green drill. It's St.
Yeah.
Patrick's Day.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Man, I've had quite a few St. Paddy's Days in Las Vegas, and
I'm sure you have. Yep.
yeah, I will be waking up feeling better tomorrow than I have in many St. Paddy's Day post days before. And yeah, Christy and Lynn both, shout out to my girls out there. We've had some pretty solid hangovers, I think, from St. Paddy's Day, but not anymore. Now I'm a grown up. Now I work.
You don't drink.
I do all the serious stuff. And thank you guys so much for bearing with me to try to figure out all of this, live streaming stuff. I've got a few more things to work on, but I think we're going to get this figured out. I might just need to get like a few more screens and get super high tech and all of that. But I appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you to all of our sponsors. You can get at us on the Twitters at Auntie Chardonnay, at Jeff Platt, at Chad A. Holloway. If you have any stories or anything interesting you think we should cover, anyone we should interview. I believe next week we will have on the show Miss Veronica Brill, and you guys do not want to miss that interview. It is a really, really good interview, not because of me, but because she's like a really cool, interesting person. All right, catch you guys on the flip side. Deuces. Stopping recording on Zoom. I'm leaving it for 1 second. Broadcasting. Just in case. Okay, did anyone check Facebook? Jeff, will you check? It's too many things to open.
I kept trying to check Facebook, and for some reason I don't see that. I never saw the video. I had the video up on Periscope. Sound was fine there.
Okay.
But I could never get into anything on Facebook. I still don't.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know
because
why.
I'm getting messages from people on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Periscope, but I didn't get any messages from people on Facebook. So maybe it
didn't. Yeah, it didn't post on Facebook.
This fucking thing. Like, is my computer even powerful enough for all this? I don't know, you guys. I don't.
We're still on Periscope.
Yeah, I'm leaving it. Oh, I guess
Okay.
I should stop. I thought I should leave it in case I have to do any more things, but let's end it. Thanks, everyone.